Hamlet faced the to be or not to be dilemma, but California EV owners are facing the to charge or not to charge dilemma. Do you know that California EV owners are dealing with concerns with the lack of charging stations? What's led to this? Let's take a look. Long lineups, malfunctioning chargers, and other common issues in Southern California's EV charging stations are troubling the EV owners community. People are driving electric cars during the busiest times of year for road trips, but many claim it can be difficult to locate reliable chargers. This is due to California's upcoming 2035 ban on the sale of new gas-powered automobiles. Drivers in Southern California complain that they frequently have to bargain for a spot in line, try to charge their cars while they're out and about, and run into broken chargers. Even early in the morning, often I'll encounter between 1 to 5 people waiting in line, and often there'll be, 2 to 3 stations working out of 4, said Emily Hampton, a recent EV owner. Although Hampton's happy with the large monthly savings on gas and expenses, she wishes electric car charging was reliable. Hampton doesn't have access to an at-home charger because she rents a house and works from it. It seems like they all operate differently and have different levels of reliability, Hampton added. Other EV drivers share the same concern. For all of them, charging is the main issue. Charging stations in Southern California are terrible. This is the same for many parts of the country. In some places, drivers are at least in one line. There are other places where it's just chaos in the parking lot. People get into fights sometimes. Even though EV technologies are evolving and cars with more battery efficiency and mileage, along with fast charging technologies, are on the way, this is no solution to the issue at hand. So, what can be done to make charging easy for EV owners? According to the state of California, about 1 in 4 new cars produced in California are zero-emission vehicles at present, which contributes to the huge demand for additional electric vehicle chargers. As of right now, there are just over 105,000 public and shared private electric vehicle chargers. The quick solution is to get more infrastructure out there. According to the latest state report, which examined the infrastructure and other details regarding electric vehicle chargers in California, approximately 1 million chargers will be needed by 2030 and more than 2 million chargers by 2035. This is in line with the understanding that California cannot meet its transportation electrification goals without ensuring there is a sufficient supply of reliable charging facilities. Steps are being taken not only to add more chargers, but also to track the performance of existing ones. The broken ones are trying to be fixed and converted to fully functional, but the issue here is that it's mostly a voluntary process, so there is a need for some kind of regulation. An official said, "We're currently in that proposal right now to ensure at least 97% uptime of any charger that we fund or is publicly funded. Suppose these regulations are finalised by the end of this year. In that case, the new rule will demand compulsory performance reports from certain electric chargers, which will include some 40% of the existing system." With this move, the state expects a spill power effect. If they capture 40% of the market with the direct regulations, that should have a spillover effect and really encourage other market participants to step up. One of the broken charging stations mentioned earlier was managed by Electrify America, and when a news agency reached out to them, it was revealed that some of the company's chargers were 5 years old. That means getting replacement parts is getting harder as more of them age, or for worse, some of them are damaged in vandalism. The components are destroyed as the cables are cut for the copper. These things are on the rise and taking away available replacement parts. The spokesperson for Electrify America said, "In the last 2 years, we replaced over 680 chargers, and this year we're aiming to accelerate replacements to an additional 800 plus. Electrify America also wants to build bigger spaces with more chargers. According to the report, the state said that with money already allotted, it's on track to reach 250,000 public and shared private chargers by next year. Meanwhile, EV drivers are making decisions today about how they'll commute. They'll have to manage their travelling issues independently for at least another few months. Many EV owners say that they're sticking with EVs for shorter distances, but they have to turn to gas-powered cars for long-distance trips. If they're going to do a road trip for more than a couple of hours, they'd probably just rent a gas car because it's too stressful to plan it all out." The most recent Consumer Reports survey indicates that electric cars, trucks, and SUVs have shown to be far less dependable than gasoline-powered vehicles. The number of issues with EVs from the 2021 to 23 model years was over 80% higher than that of cars with internal combustion engines. Consumer Reports states that problems with the battery and charging systems, as well as mismatches between the body panels and interior parts, were the most frequent complaints from electric vehicle owners. The survey said that although EV manufacturers are still learning how to create whole new power systems, When they do so, EVs should become more generally reliable. Consumer Reports noted that many buyers will likely pause before choosing to adopt the new technology, since ongoing concerns about reliability will likely be exacerbated by concerns about higher costs, a shortage of charging stations, and extended charging periods. Additionally, according to the report, plug-in hybrid cars, which may operate on battery power before transitioning to a gas-electric drivetrain, are less likely to experience problems than completely electric cars. It is noted that plug-ins have two distinct complex power systems, both of which are prone to failure. He also brought up the fact that automakers like Volvo and Jeep are now mass-producing plug-in hybrids, which have traditionally been proven to be less dependable over time. However, tried and true integrated gas-electric hybrid systems are more dependable than gasoline-powered cars, mostly because their flaws have been worked out over roughly 25 years of use. As the technology behind electric vehicles is still developing, there aren't an adequate number of qualified repair persons and workshops that can repair your EV. When there's a lack of professionals, fixing an EV may cost you an arm and a leg. Also, the average repair cost of an EV in the US is $6,587, compared with the $4,215 for other vehicles. This makes EVs unaffordable to the average US family, and repairing them can take months. In addition, another report said that a man was unable to drive his EV because of complaints about the engine due to the cold weather. So the question is, if you live in a cold climate or a cyclone-prone area and don't have access to the power grid and run out of batteries, what are you going to do? Unless you have a combustion engine vehicle, you can get in trouble in such a situation. This suggests that EVs are not replacements for combustion engine vehicles, but supplementary. Here comes the importance of hybrid vehicles. According to a recent survey, almost half of Americans say they're unlikely to buy an electric car as their next vehicle due to its high price and shortage of charging locations. This is also happening in the wake of the Biden administration's vigorous efforts to increase EV sales and move the nation towards renewable energy. In an effort to reduce emissions and slow down climate change, the White House has set a target that by 2030 up to half of all new car sales will be electric. Speaking about climate change, it should be understood by now that electric cars are only as clean as their power supply. Experts debate whether, when manufacturing and battery life are taken into consideration, electric automobiles are more environmentally harmful than gas guzzlers. Nonetheless, some experts find the zero emissions claim unnecessary when they consider the manufacturing process for cars and their batteries. Whether electric automobiles are actually more environmentally friendly than gas guzzlers has been a topic of ongoing discussion. So what's the main problem for an EV owner? Is it maintenance or lack of charging facilities? Do tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit the like and also subscribe buttons. Also, ring the notification bell so you never miss any future content.